tense and fluid situation. We're back there live a little later. Now, a team of investigators, lawyers and human rights advocates are looking for new information relating to 8 atrocities allegedly committed by apartheid police. Now, the team was behind last year's successful reopening of the 46-year-old Ahmed Timol inquest. The activist, you'll remember, was killed while in police custody. Joining us now is Timol's nephew, Imtiaz Cajee. Good afternoon to you and welcome. So obviously what transpired last year has given you fresh energy, has given you fresh impetus to pursue this campaign.
Most certainly, Jeremy. I mean, 6 months have passed since Judge police.Courtesy made his ruling that the 3 security branch officers must be investigated and charged. And the Timol family and the rest of the country still wait for this matter to be fast-tracked and for these officers to be actually charged and to appear in a court of law. But apart from the Timol matter, we've reassembled as a group.
Let's get back to the latest incident in just a moment, or the latest developments. When you raise questions about a perceived lack of investigation, a slowness to institute charges, what's happening? Are you being stonewalled?
Look, Jeremy, my own personal view on this is that there's a lack of political will. I mean, the dockets and dossiers moves from one office to the other, and then from the Priority Crimes Litigation Unit, it then moves to the Hawks. But the reality is that 6 months later, as a Timol family, we are still waiting. And we know very well that Rodriguez, sons and Els in the late 70s and early 80s are moving closer to leaving this beloved world of ours. And as every day moves on, the chances of them passing on and without them being charged and helping the Timol family to find answers.
What kind of pressure then, as a family, are you bringing to bear?
Look, we've continuously persisted with correspondence to the Priority Crimes Litigation Unit. And this is the process that has embarked for the last 6 months. And again, we continue exerting pressure. But I think we've reached a particular point where we cannot continue begging and asking the NPA and specifically the Priority Crimes Litigation Unit and the Hawks, to fast-track this particular matter.
At what point then do you go back to court?
Well, currently we are waiting. As long as the officers don't get charged and don't appear in court, there's absolutely nothing we can do currently. But if this matter continues in this particular fashion, then we will have to explore alternative legal avenues at our disposal.
And that's the question I'm asking. Are you starting to think in that direction?
Most certainly, Jeremy. I mean, 6 months later, would have imagined that it couldn't take them that long. I mean, we've waited 23 years since the dawn of democracy.
Why do you think there's a lack of political will?
I think personally that they're afraid. Security branch officers in general have got away with heinous crimes during the apartheid era. And apart from Eugene de Kock, who had taken the fall for many, many of these atrocities, the finding by Judge police.Courtesy has given us impetus, to revisit and reinvestigate other matters. And I think this was unprecedented, never perceived by the NPA and Priority Crimes Litigation Unit. And I think for the very first time, one particular family out of many in the country is very close to getting critical answers that they are searching for.
So let's now look at those so-called 8 atrocities. They are alleged suicides by people in custody, including people like Neil Agat, Hussein Hafaji and Babalwa Saluji. What are you doing in that respect, and what sort of answers then are you seeking?
The plea is very simple, Jeremy, that as we wait for the NPA and the Hawks, we are appealing to the general public. If they've got any information regarding these cases, and any other cases for that matter, to come forward to the team that we've assembled so that we can conduct our own investigations. Because as the time moves on, the chances become much more slimmer of us getting answers that we desperately search.
But given what's happened with the Timol state of affairs, are you not concerned that you're simply just going to bang your head against another wall in this respect?
But this is precisely the point, Jeremy, that platforms like yours that give us the opportunity to express our level of frustration and disappointment, that you'd imagine in a democratic South Africa, these brave men and women who had sacrificed their lives, and the ruling party that's in power today will ensure that they get justice.
And Imtiaz, there are lots of unanswered questions as far as the 8 are concerned, and most notably during the TRC process, and again, you're going to have to correct me, it was a long time ago, I seem to recall that no one at that point, in terms of their deaths, applied for any amnesty. Am I correct?
I think you're correct, Jeremy. And this is precisely the challenge that we have. That as families and as a collective, we are now taking the initiative to ensure that we get to the bottom of what had transpired. Because the TRC had made numerous recommendations. And again, the NPA was expected to implement them, which meant further investigation on these cases. And the track record of the NPA is very clear. How many cases have they successfully prosecuted since the TRC recommendations were made?
And you've even approached the former TRC chair, Archbishop Emeritus Tutu.
Most certainly. He's given us his blessing.
With what in mind?
He's given us his blessing. And he's encouraging us, and more importantly, Jeremy, he's encouraging former security branch officers. And there are many who have re-emerged in the recent Stratcom developments around the death of Winnie Mandela. And other administrative officers who were in these buildings where these brave men and women lost their lives, for them to come forward.
I'm looking at a statement that you have put out, and it says, in part, the families of the victims have waited far too long for justice. Information leading to the resolution of these cases will bring closure and healing not only to these families, but to others, to the nation as well. Again, I've asked you this question before when we spoke about the conclusion of the inquest last year, but what impact, again, is this having on the broader membership of your family?
Look, people respond in different fashions. I think many from the older generations had accepted the fact there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. But the fact that we managed to reverse the inquest finding has given a sense of glimmer and a sense of hope that we've come so far. We've reversed the inquest findings of 72. We have 3 security branch officers, in our view, that have got valuable answers. They've got valuable answers. And the opportunities for them to come clean and to make full disclosures as to what had really transpired, leading to the death of my brother.
And just finally, have you reached out to the families of the other 8 for whom you want investigations to be reopened?
Most certainly.
What have they said to you?
People want answers, Jeremy. Families are grieving. The father of Matthew Mabelani wants answers before he leaves this world. Ben Khawati, his father Nicodemus Khawati, died in '69. Goes to bed crying every evening for the last 2-3 decades, wanting answers. South Africans are mourning, and they are looking for avenues that the democratic South African government can provide them with valuable answers and closure that they're desperately searching for.
Imtiaz Cajee, thank you very much for joining us on Newsday, and keep us informed with that.